Oh y'all, this is Prom 3285, and I just want to make a second video about Streets of Rage, and what I feel about this game, Like, I remember the first Streets of Rage came out in 1991 for the Sega Genesis, and it was a great game. It was a huge phenomenon, and the story is three cops, they turn in their badges because there was so much violence, crime going on in the city that the police wasn't doing anything about it. So they turn in their badges and they decide to become vigilantes. And these cops are Axel Stone, Adam Hunter, and Blaze Fielding. And this game is a great game. It has a great story, and it's about them taking the streets back, against the violence, fighting back against Mr. X's gang. And it was about them fighting the crime lord, Mr. X. Mr. X, my fault, Mr. X. It was about them fighting back against Mr. X gang, and this was a great game. Now, the first boss that you face in the first level was a guy that had a boomerang, and I forgot his name, but yeah, it was a guy you faced that had a boomerang, and I remember the first level was very memorable. Like, it had a lot of beats, it sounded like music from the 90s, like the Pump the Jam, Pump It Up. And it had sort of like that beat in the first stage. In the second stage, you fight a guy. It's like you be in an alley, and you fight a guy that looked like Freddy Krueger. Yeah, that was the second guy you face. Then it was stage 3, which you be on the beach, which is definitely one of my favorite levels in the game. You be on the beach, and at the end, you fight a guy that looks exactly like the Ultimate Warrior, And then there's another level in the game where you be I guess you be in the streets, but it's like at the end you fight a guy, heavy-set guy, to blow fire out his mouth. And each stage was amazing. It seemed like the more further you get, the more better the stages get, and the music is so memorable to this day. It's just amazing. The music is just incredible. And this game was so popular. It was an amazing beat 'em up, And I just want to make a second video about this, because there was some things I left out in my last video. I just feel like I wanted to do a better video than the first one. To my subscribers, I want to do a better job. And I just want to say, God bless y'all, and I'm just so happy to do videos like this about old games. And this game was a phenomenon, though. Like, you plays Axel Stone, Blaze Fielding, and Adam Hunter. Now, personally, my favorite out of the three was Adam Hunter. He was my favorite out of the three. But I did like Blaze Fielding too, and Adam, and Axel Stone. But my favorite was Adam Hunter in the first Streets of Rage game. In this game, you could pick up bats, bottles, you could punch stuff and get apples and get like chicken and stuff. You could punch like a phone booth. You could hit other enemies with like a pipe. You could throw knobs at them. This game was an amazing game. It was an amazing side-scroll beat-em-up that Sega did. It was similar to Final Fight and Double Dragon. It was an amazing game. It was really cool. This game is a true classic. I still love playing this game to this very day. I'm just a huge Streets of Rage fan. This game was so huge that it even had sequels, It had 3 games. And the characters was just amazing. And then there was another thing that each character had their own combo. They had their own moveset. They had their own strengths. They had their own weaknesses too, but they had their own strengths, their own abilities that they do. One of the other moves in this game is that it was like a special move, and you call for reinforcements. It's this cop that bees with them, and he shows up and he shoots this bazooka, and he blows all these other guys away. Like, if you're fighting a boss, you're fighting an enemy, you know, like soon you hear that music, something about to go down. Soon you, like, if you having trouble, you just press like the one of the buttons. I think it was the B button or the A button. It was like a special. He'll keep coming in his police car, and he shoot this bazooka and blow all these enemies that you facing away. Like, there was this huge explosion, you know, which was really cool, unique about Streets of Rage 1, you know. And they had amazing characters. Everybody had their favorites, you know. Everybody had their favorite characters, which I felt like all the characters was cool in this game, you know, Mr. X. And it was even the stage when you fight these two twins, these two girls that look like Blaze. They were like Blaze clones. In my opinion, they were like one of the hardest bosses in Streets of Rage 1. They were something else, you know. Now the second game in the series, they went more further with the animation. You know, the characters look better, the animation, the drawing looks better, they look bigger. The characters even have more moves. And in this game, Streets of Rage 2 is more characters. And in this game, Adam Hunter is kidnapped by Mr. X. Mr. X is back. He's on some revenge. He want to get revenge against the three that defeated him. So he kidnaps Adam Hunter, and he leaves a note for Axel and Blaze. And this is when new characters come into this game, like Max Thunder. He's a wrestler. He has a scar on his eye. And Eddie Skate. This game is about you finding Eddie Skate's brother. Now, Eddie Skate was a cool addition to this game too. Max Thunder and Eddie Skate. Max Thunder was really strong. You know, he does suplexes. He was a wrestler. He was a big dude. You know. Also, you had Eddie Skate, which was Adam Hunter, younger brother. He was really cool in this game. He was fast. He was on rollerblades. He had amazing moves. In this game, the characters had more moves. They had more moves, like just amazing moves. Like specials was better. Everything. They just went more further. They just upped the scale with Streets of Rage 2, in my opinion. This game was every bit as good as the first, if not better. You know, it looked better. You know, the characters look more better looking. You know, the animation, the weapons, and everything you pick up look better. You know what I mean? Even the levels was just as great as the first game and just as memorable. And this game was a great game. You know how Blaze looks. She looks better. Axel Stone is definitely much better in this game than the first game. He's more stronger. Each character from the previous game is more stronger. Now Adam Hunter, he's kidnapped. You don't play as him because you gotta save him at the end. You know, and this is about getting him back. And this is about defeating Mr. X for the second time. Also, before you defeat Mr. X, you had to fight another boss before you face him, which he was really strong. I think his name was Servant something. I forgot his name, but he was very strong. You know, and this game was a great game. You know, it had a lot of great bosses. Like it was this guy you face. He's on a jetpack. You know, he's trying to hit you. And then there's another guy that was from the first Streets of Rage. The guy looked like Ultimate Warrior. And then there was another guy whose name was Bear. He was like a kickboxer. You fight on boat level. It was like the ship level. Now the next game in the series is Streets of Rage 3. Streets of Rage 3, I have to say, it looked just as good as the second game. And I have to say it was pretty fun, like the second game, but I can't say I liked it more than, I mean, I wasn't as big as, you know, I wasn't that crazy about it as much as the first two games. I felt like the first two games was more memorable. The stages was better, the music was better than the first two games. This game, some of the music is good, but it just, you know, it just seemed like it's something missing, you know. But this game was really good. You know, I like Streets of Rage 3. I enjoy it. Also, what was cool about this game, you know, which I left out from the other games, forgive me, y'all. It was also for the Mega Drive. It was for the Sega Genesis Mega Drive. Like the first game and the second game was for the Mega Drive, you know. And this game also had more characters. Like it had similar characters from the second game, but you know, in this game wasn't no Max Thunder. It was Zant. He was a cyborg, you know, and you had a kangaroo character who joins the fight. You know, you have Axel Stone, Blaze Fielding, which some of the character color skins look different, but in the Japanese version, they're basically the same as the previous games. They color skins. And this game was a great game. Like, you know what I have to say, it wasn't great, it was good. It was a good game, you know, it was really good, you know. But, you know, I really enjoyed the other games more, you know. I felt like they were more easier. But what's cool about this game is that it has a button code to unlock Super Axel. I think Super Blaze and Zant too, which was cool. Which the other games had cool button codes too. But the Blaze clones return in this game, and they no joke, they stronger than ever. The Blaze clones. There's a part where you fight them at this club. Yeah, this game was a good game. You know, I liked all the Streets of Rage games. I think they all were basically great in my opinion. They definitely were great. You know why, I take it back. Streets of Rage 3 was a great game, but I just feel like, just for me as a fan, I just remember playing the first two games more. They were a little more memorable, you know. And the levels, I think I have to say I liked a little more better, and the music. But this game was really good. It was cool to be the third chapter in the franchise, you know. This game was about Mr. X returning, but he was using robot duplicates, you know, to he was like making humanoid looking robot duplicates. Like he made a clone of Axel, like a robot duplicate. And he was also planning to blow up the city, so they had to hurry up and disarm the bombs, you know, and put an end to Mr. X for the third time, you know, in this game. Before the city blows up, you know, they had to hurry up, you know. Also, Adam Hunter does a cameo in this game. Now, what's so different about this game is, if you play it on easy, you get different endings. You get you get the short version of the game. If you play it on normal, you get the medium version of the game. It's like, but if you play it on hardest, you get the real ending, the true ending, you know. That was different about this game. And the boss battles in all three games were awesome. You know, the Blaze clones, you know, the guy that shoot fire out his mouth, the heavyset guy, the guy that looked like Ultimate Warrior, which was really cool. You know, this game has a lot of memorable levels and bosses. Like all three games has a lot of memorable bosses. You know, Mr. X was really cool, you know, he was a cool villain, you know. This game was a great game, you know. Even had characters like Nora, Elektra. Nora was in the first Streets of Rage game. In Streets of Rage 2, they introduced Elektra, you know. Now, Elektra, I felt like she was more no joke. She'll catch you with this fly kick, and then she'll shock you with her whip, you know. It was crazy. And then she also returns in this game, Streets of Rage 3. She returns in Streets of Rage 3, you know. Characters are cool. I felt like with each game, the characters that we know and love, like Blaze Fielding, Axel Stone, and you know, and Eddie Skate, they made them stronger. They developed the characters. It seemed like the more the games that they made, the more stronger they made the characters. You know, and the more cooler looking the characters start looking more. You know, they start having more special moves. You know, which was really cool. Personally, I like all the characters. I like Adam